Hi everyone, I am Tony Marr, and of course, we're always talking about mental health is vital, but today we are going to be talking about something else, and that is art therapy is vital. And I'm joined by Terri DiGennaro, Executive Director of the Ryan Giambattista HELMS Foundation of the Mahoning Valley. It is a nonprofit, and it is an amazing foundation. So Terri, before we even move on, tell me what exactly is the HELMS Foundation?
The HELMS Foundation was created, unfortunately, I came out of tragedy when my son at the age of 23 had passed away. And he was a local street artist and also was a postal worker, which you would never maybe put the two together. And he had fallen off of the rooftop when he was tagging a building. And I think that most people want to know, well, what does HELMS stand for? And we never knew. It was a tag, which a lot of street artists have. And maybe to better define what a tag is if you're driving down the road, you see a building and it might have a word, it may have a picture, it might have some kind of a signature form of art on it, and that's called your tag. And you would find this tag in other common areas. You would find them on, for taggers, would have a post office return address label. And they would put their tags on there and they would stick them kind of all over the place. And if anybody's familiar with Shepard Fairey, that's actually how he got his start, how he got recognized, was by doing that. And his happened to be HELMS. Well, when all of this happened to us, we gave it the meaning. We used it to heal, express, and learn through different mediums. And that's where we came up. That's how we used HELMS. And we could not let his visions, go to the wayside. And I guess you could say, as a mother, you always want to see your children's dreams, go forward and to be a part of them. So we established this foundation more so as a tribute. Yes, we had given money to the Mental Health and Recovery Board, and they gave it to NAMI. And NAMI of Mahoning County. And NAMI wanted to start an art program. So that's where we started. Well, that program grew, and then it grew. And all of a sudden, it was getting outreach in the community. And then the Soap Gallery had contacted us to have the art show that we usually had through NAMI down there on a larger venue.
Sure.
Well, when this happened, other individuals, artists, students, parents, children, who use therapy, I don't want to say therapy, that maybe were in therapy or had some form of struggles, used art.
Right.
And they were able to display that art, in a public forum like that. So somebody says, let's make it a fundraiser. So we did. And I had gone to the Mental Health Recovery Board and I said, whatever I make here, I will donate to the Mental Health Recovery Board, to the facilities, and to get art, into the facilities, or art supplies for their programs. And then all of a sudden, they said, well, there's no money for that. There's no money for our programs in the budgets. So I says, well, this is what we're going to do. I will give you this. Can you find somebody to do it? And that led to another conversation that led me to another person and another person. And next thing I know, I'm calling up to Akron, and I've learned about art therapy, what an art therapist was.
Yeah.
Come back to Mahoning County, and next thing you know, we don't have one within the Mahoning County Mental Health and Recovery Board. None of their facilities at all. That, again, kind of pushed me forward as to why we don't. Well, now, since I had introduced it and introduced, some art therapists, Alta has an art therapist, and we now have 4 interns working, and we're working with Ursuline College in Cleveland to develop more interns and to grow the intern program, to get those individuals to stay in our area, come back in our area, which of course, supports our economy, brings professionals back in, and to grow the programs here. Now, Meridian also has an art therapist and an intern. And then St. Nick's reached out. The foundation had hired a part-time art therapist who was working with their 5th graders, and also at Help Hotline, the facility that is up there on the north side, the Health Hotline Community Center. And then COVID hit, and next thing you know, everything's locked down, everything's shut down. So I, again, went to the Mental Health Recovery Board, and they got in touch with several agencies. And I want to say about 13 agencies I've been providing expressive art projects to them every week throughout this COVID time period. And it has shown amazing results. I mean, I could sit here and tell you all the things that it's done.
Oh, sure.
I could tell you how wonderful the art therapists and how that program is growing. But even without the art therapists there, just the expressive art project has shown just amazing results. I mean, everybody can do it. We have telehealth boxes. They do it on virtual visits. We're providing everything to them in the other facilities, and they're running it through them, you know, the expressive art projects. And like I said, it's been amazing and impressive. And in all of the, I don't want to say craziness, but uncertainty that's going on, it has shown to be something extremely positive. So we're getting there.
Yeah,
we're getting there, and anybody can do it. Doesn't matter. Ability, disability, struggle. It's accessible to everybody, and it affects everybody differently.
Right. And that's one of the things that I really like about art therapy is, you know, there's a whole stigma that people don't want to talk about mental health. Well, you know, for art therapy, you don't have to talk about it. You express it through the art that you're creating. And that can mean anything that you want it to mean for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
You know, and, you know, you can look at a picture, and I had posted at one point on the Facebook page, my granddaughter, she's 3, had drawn a picture, and you look at it, it's just blobs, blurb lines in this, but she's talking. She told me about what her mother did all day when she was in her office. This was her brother. Her dad was upstairs. You know, an entire story. Her entire day was written in these blobs, you know, and she was 3 years old, but can convey it. And if you go back, you want to go back into history all the way back, our first form of communication was art.
Yeah.
You know, it was not language.
I mean,
right, exactly. You know, go back to the caveman. You know, first communication was art.
Yeah. And stuff that terrified them, they drew a lot bigger. You know, that was
exactly.
they showed their emotions back then.
Right. And then came the grunting, I think. So, but art was first. Yeah. Art was first. Yeah.
So this year, you know, obviously the fundraising's a little bit different, but this year you're kind of teaming up with the Alta Care group in the Mental Health is Vital project. So tell me how these two are combining this year.
I've worked collaboratively with several facilities within the mental health and recovery system, and Alta was the first one to bring on an art therapist. And so I work very closely with them, and the foundation, what the foundation does to defer the cost of that therapist is we do all the supplies.
Sure.
Whatever mediums, supplies, equipment that the art therapists and interns might need, whether it's for groups, clients, Camp Challenge, the telehealth, the foundation supplies all of that to them. We recreated the fence that's on their property, that's at Alta. And we did the art bench at Camp Challenge, and now they're doing some walls actually in Alta. So the foundation picks up that cost and, you know, does all of the supplies for that. So when this anti-stigma came about, Joe Shiroki had approached me, and he says, listen, you know, we have this grant and we really want to incorporate the art. We want to get that to grow and to bring the awareness. And I usually have the fundraiser, and, you know, we kind of went back and forth. He says, you know, let's have an art contest and get these individuals involved, and, you know, to bring them out. And because I mean, when I've had, you know, art shows in the past, there are some individuals, they won't even put their name on their art because they're individuals out in the community, they're working, and they don't want to carry that stigma with them.
Sure.
So, you know, this is the whole idea. We want to bring that out. We want them to put it on paper. We want to know how this looks to them, and in that, form of expression. So I says, let's combine it. Let's put the art contest as part of the art show, because there's those who want to display their work, but there's are those who, they want to put it in there for the show, and they want to put it in there for the contest. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for them to, again, kind of step that up a little bit, and to be able to, include your art with other individuals who are having, the same struggles, and incorporate them into the different categories, and, have a competition. And then what's going to happen from there, there are awards that will be given, monetary awards, but the overall winner will actually have a billboard. They will have their signage, their art up on a billboard, which in my opinion is very impressive.
And I agree. And you kind of hit it on the head too, when you said, it's people expressing what they're feeling, but for them, it's what they're feeling. But for people that aren't going through something at the same time, they get to see exactly what is going on, and helps them understand, what mental illness is. And that might get them to help or talk about their own. So I think it's a win-win for everyone, really.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can't, a lot of people say, well, I can't paint, or I'm not very artsy. That's not what it's about. That is not what it's about. It is the therapeutic side to it, and the interpretation and the communication, that goes on with it. And to, again, have that, and to have somewhere to display that, to put that, to me, that's art. Art it comes from so many feelings. It comes from words unspoken, and to display that and have people realize, like, oh my gosh, and to look at it, it has been, there's a talent. People are so talented and gifted, gifted, and they don't even realize it. They're just amazing. It's amazing what people, like I said, with the mind, can convey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. And so this contest, it's open to really anybody. I think there's age groups, but it's open to anyone that wants to enter, right?
Yes, there are categories that we have. We had paint, we had collage in 3D. Sculpture in 3D, collage, and then a mixed media.
Okay.
And there are parameters that are on that, just simply because, first of all, space is one big thing. But in order, if you're going to be setting it in for competition, you have to have it a certain size, because then it needs to be billboard ready, and be able to reproduce on a billboard, and you want it to still look, like it does. So there are a few parameters. It is on our webpage. The forms are on there. The stipulations are on there, the guidelines, the deadlines, and the form, that has to come with it when you're bringing in the art.
Right. So the fundraiser is February 27th. Whether that's in person or virtual, we'll see. But
fingers crossed.
Deadline for the artwork is February 5th, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, and the website is helmsmv.org. There's the call for art. There's all the parameters, and there's also ways to donate to the HELMS Foundation. Any donation will go to help others. So
absolutely, 100%. It's difficult when you have a startup foundation, and it's even a little more challenging because there is no art therapy in our area. There is no art therapy within the mental health recovery system. There's no statistics to say, this is what it's done, this is what we need, because we're actually starting out with, this is where we're at, we need more. And there's numbers, there's statistics that, they're always looking for, and it's difficult, again, because we're just starting this and we're building it, and it needs to grow. We get requests, individuals want help, and there is need in the community, especially with everything that's going on. The need is growing,
Yes.
you know. So I function on sponsorship, donations, ticket sales, and art sales.
If you are interested in entering the art contest or again donating to the Helms Foundation, it is at helmsmv.org. I'll make sure that I put it in the comments. And also on mhisvital.com too. There's a link to it there also. But again, February 5th, deadline to get your artwork in. And then the fundraiser itself is February 27th. And so hopefully we'll see you there.